Welcome aboard the motor vessel Nicola, a 16-car ferry that works Tuck Inlet north of Prince Rupert, serving the community of Lax Kw'alaams. It's worked this route since 1997, and I visited in August 2015, part of a trip that I took to Prince Rupert, and I decided to go for an over and back trip on the ship just to see the route and enjoy the scenery, and to ride a classic 1960 car ferry. Here's a photo of a similar ship. It's the sister ship, the Nimkish, seen near Bella Bella. So this is what the Nicola looks like. The ship was built in the era of BC Department of Highways saltwater fleet. She originally worked at Quadra Island, so her first name was Quadra Queen. Then she was renamed Cortez Queen to work Cortez Island. She was eventually renamed Nicola, and that's the name that she's still registered under. But in her work in Tuck Inlet, the ship's name is commonly known as Spirit of Lax Kw'alaams. Here's the location on the map. Big picture is the west coast of British Columbia. The red circle near the top is where Prince Rupert and Lax Kw'alaams is. Here's a closer view of the area. Red circle is city of Prince Rupert. Red circle at the top is the village of Lax Kw'alaams. This red line is the ferry route. And then there's the drive that you take after you get off the ferry at the north end to reach the village. Here's an even closer view of the inlet. The bottom at Arrow Point, the ferry landing at Prince Rupert. At the top, the other ferry landing. And here's the ferry route. It was a lot of fun watching them load the ship, looking at the bow end. Now, because the two outside lanes are under height, like standard height, the taller trucks can't go through essentially the tunnel with the passenger lounge above them, so they have to go down the tall middle lane, and then the worker backs them into the front end of each of the side lanes where they can just fit in the front end. It's a good time for me to explain that this video is slightly sped up by me in the edit process. So if the cars look like they're almost going to ram the end of the ship, no, that's just the sped up effect of the video. I just love watching how the communication works here and just the strategy. Get those two large ones out of the way at the front because the premium is for tall vehicles, and so put those two on the side and then bring this guy up right to the front. Now that he's set, we can bring the two vehicles on the side right up to the front so other vehicles, shorter ones, can get further forward on each of the outside lanes. I just love watching this skilled chess game. Now it's time for me to change my position. Nice view of the center lane. Okay, that's getting filled up. Let's look behind us. Here's the Arrow Point ramp. More traffic coming on. You can see that one of the side lanes is already filled, and we've almost got ourselves a full load. This is just before 5 p.m. on that day. And we're moving. Now I've sped up this video about 10 times, so it's going to be about 4.5 minutes instead of 45 minutes working our way along the route. Now it's time for some music. can see that there's nowhere else for us to go other than make a sharp turn and go through those narrows. This is probably the most dramatic part of the journey, and I had a beautiful day for it. Well, now up ahead on the right, you can see the Lax Kw'alaams ferry landing for Tuck Inlet. That's where we're going.